Before watching the video, don't forget to subscribe, like and turn on the bell. It motivates me a lot and helps me to release new videos faster. Little Hitori Goto could not get acquainted with her peers. Years have passed, and Hitori wants to change something about himself. There was a broadcast on TV about the success of a lonely rocker who successfully became a guitarist in his band. Hitori admires the guy and she asks her father Naoki for a guitar. Taking the guitar in her hands, she really wants to create her own group and become a favorite. But 3 years pass and Hitori is still playing alone in her closet. Hitori plays out of boredom. She decides to post one of her covers online where she calls herself Guitar Hero, and reading comments from the same shy people, she closes her laptop. After commenting about the school festival, Hitori remembers how she tried to make friends and create a group. After difficult memories, she still finishes reading the comments. Hitori goes to school with a guitar so that people will notice her. She enters the classroom and waits for someone to talk to her, but the entire school day goes by without anyone talking to Hitori. Frustrated, Hitori runs away from the approaching schoolchildren. Suddenly, Akuyo Kita notices her and stands in a stupor. Arriving at the site, Hitori continues to feel sad, and at an unexpected moment, Nijika Ijichi runs up to her and really scares Hitori. Hitori is speechless and the girls finally introduce themselves. Seeing the guitar, Nijika offers to perform at a concert for her group. Hitori is stunned. Hitori and Nijika silently head to the Starry Club. Nijika works there part-time. Hitori, following Nijika, becomes attached to her and from the outside looks strange. Speaking to himself, Nijika doubts her. Girls come to Starry. From the environment here, Hitori feels comfortable and she meets new faces. She also meets bassist Ryu Yamada. The three of them gather in the practice room where Nijika introduces Hitori to the chords of the song. Full of enthusiasm, Hitori begins to play. After one song, Hitori is jokingly called incompetent, causing her to become stressed. She was so immersed in her world that she sat in the trash can. The girls try to calm her down, saying that only their friends will come to the concert. Suddenly, Hitori says that playing in a band was her dream, but playing covers on the internet made her a recluse. Catching the topic about covers, the girls talk about Guitar Hero, praising her playing. Hitori is very surprised and listens to their conversation about her with gentleness. Nijika and Ryu manage to calm Hitori down. She gets to her feet. She is still afraid of speaking in public. Ryu invites her to play inside the box, where Hitori immediately perks up inside it. Nijika and Ryu think about how to present her on stage. Ryu gives the girl a nickname, Loner. The girls introduce themselves as Kesoku Band. From such a name, Hitori was confused, but Nijika immediately supported her. Finally, the girls take the stage, where Hitori is playing inside a box. After the concert, all the girls look tired, but Hitori comes up to them and says that next time she won't play in the box and goes home. Ryu falls asleep on the spot and Nijika complains about them. Walking home, Hitori wishes to overcome his social anxiety. Hitori comes from the store and is about to cool the bathroom. She climbs into it and stays there for 20 minutes. A few days ago, Nijika invited her to gather together at Starry, but due to her social anxiety, Hitori cannot just walk in. Nijika and Ryu are watching her. The girls get together and want to chat, but Nijika doesn't know where to start, so Ryu pulls out a big bone with talking points. She throws a bone where the topic of school comes up. Hitori finds out that the girls study in the same school, and that Ryu is also a loner, but unlike her, she likes to be alone, which makes Hitori feel awkward. The next topic is dedicated to their favorite music. The girls talk about their favorite genres, but Hitori again plunges into her world, forgetting about reality. The next topic is about concerts. The girls would like to find a soloist for the group. They had one before, but she left the group. Nijika thinks about taking Hitori on vocals, but forgets about it. Then she came up with the idea that Ryu and Hitori would work on music for the future soloist. Ryu asks what Nijika will do, but she brazenly changes the topic about the quota. Nijika tells Hitori what a quota is, and if they don't gather the number of people required for the concert, then they will pay for the quota themselves. So Nijika thinks about working for the future quota. Hitori, hearing about the work, is very scared and in despair, takes out his piggy bank for her wedding. The girls refuse this, but Hitori is very afraid to work. Hitori escapes reality again. She is reassured by Nijika with an offer to work at Starry. Hitori eventually agrees. Nijika will manage the money and says that it is better not to trust Ryu with money. The girls say goodbye. Hitori will have to work tomorrow, and that's why she wants to get sick so badly. Hitori plays under the air conditioner to catch a cold faster. The next day, Hitori fails to get sick and already desperate, Nijika sends her a message for support. She reciprocates. At the entrance to Starry, Hitori meets Seika, who tells her to calm down. Seika and Hitori meet, and Seika finds out that she is the same guitarist from the box. While Hitori was admiring her new nickname, The girls arrive and now Hitori finds out that Seika is Nijika's sister. While the others are working, Hitori calms himself under the table. Nijika tells how to work as a bartender, but Hitori remembers everything with the help of music. Seika calms the girls down. Nijika says that their club is partly a restaurant, and Hitori again plunges into her world. Little by little customers come, and she manages to get her out of her world. Hitori closes. Hitori pours drinks from under the table to the first visitors, which doesn't make Nijika very happy. A popular rock band comes and the girls have free time. Seika replaces Ryu. Hitori doesn't understand why the girls are so kind to her. Nijika says that she loves her club very much, and that she wants Hitori to love it too, so it will be more fun to work. Hitori encourages Nijika's words, and the concert begins. With calm music, Hitori wants to become more determined to please her friends, and then a client comes to her for a drink. Hitori very decisively serves the client, looking into his eyes. Nijika really likes Hitori's changes and supports her. The girls say goodbye to Hitori, and she is very inspired by today. Ryu and Nijika talk about the new member and write her a letter of support. Now Hitori has a cold. Nijika is going to look for a new lead singer. Finally, Hitori is recovering. Since the morning, her younger sister has been bullying her. Remembering her work and activities, she forgets that she is an introvert, and again she goes to school with a guitar, hoping for a second time. The second time, Hitori was defeated, but when she heard a conversation about bands, she just jumped up and didn't know how to speak. Hitori ate lunch alone and sat in the quietest place, thinking about the conversation and flying in the clouds. Suddenly she hears schoolchildren above her, who were talking about their singing friend. She became interested and decided to see who this girl was. Seeing the brilliant Ikuyo Kita, Hitori is jealous of her, but she cannot approach her and talk. Kita notices Hitori watching her and she decides to talk to her. But Hitori was speechless and simply ran away in shame. She returns to her place and out of sadness plays the guitar. Kita, who sat next to her, scares Hitori and praises her for her playing. Hitori has never talked to extroverts before. While questioning Hitori, she learns about her group, and Hitori decides to invite her to join. Immediately refusing, Hitori begins to praise his band. But Kita admits that she doesn't know how to play the guitar at all. Hitori is very surprised, and Kita offers to become her teacher, which makes Hitori feel awkward again. Kita persuades Hitori to go with her to her club. Hitori writes a message for Ryu and Nijika to make them appear extroverted. On the way to the club, Kita remembers the road and gets worried. As soon as Hitori talks about Starry and its members, Kita stops and tries to leave, but Nijika is already here. Kita gets scared, and Nijika and Ryu stop the runaway guitarist. Discussing everything at the table, Kesoku Band understood Kita's reasons and apologized to her. Ryu was the most saddened. Kita wants to repay the care, and Seika finds her a job running the club. She dresses her up in a maid outfit, and now Kita cleans the club. Working further, Kita is appreciated and respected by everyone. Hitori envies her and becomes depressed in front of Ryu. Nijika asks Hitori to teach Kita how to handle drinks. From Kita's aura, Hitori gets lost and spills everything. When Kita was bandaging her hand, Hitori noticed something. Kita asked why she became a guitarist. Hitori couldn't tell her reason, so she told what came to mind. The shift begins. Watching people, Kita tells how she tried to get closer to Ryu, and this was her only goal, but she could not stay in the club because of her irresponsibility. Kita is about to leave, but Hitori stops her by falling out of the blue. Hitori talks about her calluses on Kita's fingers, and all the members don't mind her introduction. Having started talking about the group's quota, Kita wants to pay for it for Ryu. Kita returns to the group, and she promises to give herself 100%. Hitori is proud of herself. She is about to leave, but her friends want her to stay longer. Kita talks about the difficulties of playing the guitar and shows it. It turns out that Kita has a 4-string bass and not a guitar as she expected. Kita became sad. The next day, Hitori taught Kita to play, but she was always tired and complained. She sold her bass to Ryu with her last money, and now she will have nothing to eat. She had no intention of stopping and apologizes for all the inconvenience. Hitori remembers how she also played for the first time. Ryu, who was chewing grass, comes in to see the girls playing. In the rain, Ryu peers at the bands. Kita and Hitori finish playing one of the songs, but Kita doesn't know how she will play and sing at concerts at the same time because just singing is not cool. Kita invites Hitori to sing with her. She immediately refuses. Ryu and Nijika come to them. The girls gather to discuss how to become a real band. Nijika offers the option to create their own merch from bracelets, similar to a tourniquet, matching their group. Ryu and Kita are already winning back the sale of merch. Kita is appointed Minister of Social Media, and Ryu wants fans to pay for their annual parties. No one will touch Hitori. She will need to write the lyrics for the songs, and Ryu will have to write the music. Kita praises Hitori. For all this time, Hitori still doesn't come up with lyrics, and the day before, she completely avoided reality. Her sister teases her. In the closet, Hitori finds her lyrics from previous classes, but the topics there were not very good, and since Kita will sing, she needs to think the lyrics like an extrovert. The watching parents watched Hitori having fun in her world, and they thought that she had problems with her head. Later, attempts to write normal lyrics for the song fail again, and a desperate Hitori receives a notification from Nijika. All the girls gather, but Hitori only apologizes. After calming her down, Nijika announces the promotional materials they will be doing today. Nijika wants to change the old photo, and she shows it to Hitori. Horrified, they go to look for a place for the photo. Walking through Shimokitazawa, they find no place. Kita thinks it would be better to take their instruments with them. Ryu makes fun of Nijika for being a drummer. The group ends up in a dark and abandoned record store, but Hitori has found a better place to send everyone to. The guys take a photo, but it turned out to be a failure, and Ryu advises making a face like hers. Kita and Nijika seize the moment, and the photo becomes even darker. Looking at all the pictures, Kita praised for her photogenicity. She decides to show her page where there were bright photos. From this, Hitori loses control again. Trying to calm her down, the girls pressure her to make her own page, because of which Hitori finally breaks down. After pulling her out of their world, they continue to take photos. This time everyone decides to jump for effect. Hitori hasn't done this for a long time, and as a result the photo didn't work out. The next time they managed to take a normal photo, they all like it. Nijika got daydreamed and reminded Hitori about the text. Suddenly Ryu goes somewhere, and everyone else's leave too. Hitori doesn't know what to do with the text, so she decides to come to Ryu and show her the text. Hitori arrives at the restaurant where Ryu calls her over. Sitting down next to her, Hitori doesn't know what to start talking about, and just waits for Ryu to speak first. Finally, Ryu asks her for the text. Having given it, she is very surprised and praises Hitori, but she was just looking at the autograph. Ryu reads the text and asks Hitori about it. She made it based on other groups. Ryu says that it is better to write what you like and not banal things. For their group, this would become a feature. It's time to go home. Ryu didn't have any money, so she asked Hitori to pay for her lunch. Before leaving, Hitori promises that he will write a good text. The next day, Hitori comes with the finished text. She didn't sleep all night. A reader of Ryu's text praises her unusual text. Relieved, Hitori prints out their photo and pastes it all over the room like a crazy person. Payday has arrived. Seika gives everyone a salary. The delighted Hitori already thinks that she will take the money she earned, but Nijika breaks her off with a request to give the money because they work to earn money to pay the quota. Hitori gets upset. As it turned out, recording an album also requires a lot of money, but they can't make money quickly with a part-time job at a club. The girls decide to take a second part-time job on the beach, but Hitori immediately breaks down when she hears about it. Ryu lets others listen to her music. Then after reading Hitori's lyrics, her spirit rose and she praises Hitori. Nijika asks her sister to perform next time, but she refuses. She doesn't give them permission because of their poor skill. Seika should do an audition first and then make sure. But since everyone is playing randomly, Seika does not support Nijika's dream and said that their games should be like a hobby. Nijika, upset, ran away from the club, reminding her of the dream with toys. Ryu shows her that photo. Confused Seika asks her to delete this photo. Ryu and Kita find the offended Nijika, and Hitori comes running to them in a rush to tell them something. Having calmed down, Hitori says that her sister gave permission to wiretap the next week. Everyone was inspired, and everyone will be preparing for the audition. Nijika calls Hitori and Kita incompetent, which upsets Hitori. Kita does not understand why Hitori is incompetent. On the way, the guys speculate about Seika's intentions. While playing in the utility room, Kita suggests that she go play in class, but she doesn't like it. Kita understands Hitori and asks her to be patient until the wiretapping. The next day, everyone except Nijika arrives wearing a stereotypical rocker image, which Ryu says is what growing a group looks like. Nijika reassures them. Hitori's real growth was in her communication and music, which made her happy. There is a day left until the audition. Hitori, who is leaving home, stops Nijika and buys her a cola. Nijika talks about topics that she never talked to Hitori, telling about her dream. Nijika says goodbye to Hitori. The day of the wiretapping comes. Everyone is enthusiastic to show off their game in front of Seika. The band introduces itself and starts playing. Hitori wants to make Nijika's dreams come true and therefore plays very energetically. After finishing playing, Seika says her verdict, which makes the girls worry. Seika understood their group and they pass. Everyone is very happy with their success. Such happiness makes Hitori feel bad. Seika sees Hitori in the future and praises her to himself. Hitori becomes embarrassed when she looks at her. The girls take pictures, and Pa-san is sure that Seika liked their group from the very beginning. It turns out that everything is so, and her sister was just teasing them. Ryu will be waiting for a text from Hitori. Kita is still having fun and gives Hitori inspiration, but her happiness is interrupted by the topic about paying for the quota of 5 tickets. Hitori breaks down because besides her parents, sister and dog, she has no friends. Hitori is immersed in her world, where she was happy to join the club until she remembered about the tickets. A day earlier, Hitori was thinking about who to give tickets to. Michio said that their dog would not be able to go to the concert, and especially since her sister was only 5, Hitori despaired, and she again went crazy. Hitori needs to sell like 3 tickets, she even drew flyers, but still, she doesn't hope for anything. Hitori receives messages from her friends on her phone. They have already sold their tickets. Hitori thinks about the best way to write, but is afraid to say too much. She thinks about it in her head until Hiroi falls near her. Hitori immediately calls an ambulance, but Hiroi crawls to her and asks for water and food. Hiroi eats enough food and thanks her. Hitori sees her as strange. A little later she drinks the drinks again. Soon she takes out even more of them, and again begins to drink like crazy. Hitori is about to leave the abnormal girl while she is talking to the statue. Trying to escape, Hiroi catches her by the case and inquires about the guitar. Hitori finds out that Hiroi is also in the group, and is afraid that she will not accept the new generation of rockers, so she tries in every possible way to make excuses that she is not playing, but Hiroi understands her, and Hitori admits to lying. After playing Hitori's guitar, Hiroi says that she always has her bass with her, but now it was left in the bar. The girls ran to look for it. Chesoku Band is worried about Hitori due her ignore. Finally, Hiroi finds his bass, and she and Hitori arrive at the shore, discussing Hiroi's entertainment. Hiroi loves to drink. Drinks help her forget about her problems. Hitori imagines himself in Hiroi's place. It didn't look very good. Hiroi asks what she was even doing here, and Hitori tells her about the tickets. Hiroi sympathizes with her and is going to repay her for her help by taking off her jacket. Hitori was afraid, but Hiroi is going to play outside. Hitori is in complete shock. She is not ready for this. But Hiroi doesn't have the equipment with her. Hitori is happy for this, but Hiroi is already calling her friend for the equipment. Now the girls have a combo. Hiroi shouts the game to the passers-by. Hitori pretends to be a passerby. Hitori has never played outside, and Hiroi advises her to play with her eyes closed while supporting her. Kita tells the others how Hitori is acting at school, and with the story about her, Hiroi and Hitori begin their street concert. Closing her eyes, Hitori admires Hiroi's game, envying her improvisation. Hitori is afraid to open her eyes, but one of the passers-by supports her, after which lightness appeared in Hitori's game, and she opens her eyes. Now Hiroi is jealous of her performance, and it's easier for her to look at Hitori. They finish playing and everyone admires their performance. Hitori enjoyed playing. The ticket flyer flies off. Hitori played with only one eye closed. Fans approached Hitori with a flyer. They want to buy tickets for her concert. Hitori can't believe it. Finally, Hitori sells the first 2 tickets, and Hiroi enters the cycle of happiness again. Police advise stopping the concert. As Hiroi is about to leave, she wants to buy the last ticket from Hitori. She gives her last money and immediately returns for it. Having sold all the tickets, Hitori tells her group about this and apologizes for her ignore. The band does not believe her message. Nijika and Kita were heading towards Hitori's house. Nijika has captured all the best for the party, but their goal is to design the group's clothing. On the way, they start talking about Ryu, who always refused when she was called somewhere. Kita has a liking for her actions. They notice Hitori's house, which had a club greeting on it. Entering her house, Hitori, dressed in a very strange outfit, greets them with firecrackers. Kita consoles her for her strange appearance. She gives her a gift, and they all go to Hitori's room, where there was another strange atmosphere. Hitori apologizes and goes to get drinks for her friends. While Hitori was away, the girls were discussing her room and stumbled upon more strange things. Hitori's little sister scaring them from behind. Walking back with drinks, Hitori notices how Futari is having fun with Hitori's friends. She stands there feeling out of place. Noticing Hitori, she tries in every possible way to drive away her sister. She manages to drive her away with the help of ice cream. Finally, the girls can calmly come up with a concept, at which time Hitori's parents come home and are surprised that she actually has friends. Kita drew her idea, a t-shirt with inscriptions about unity and victory, but it did not fit their group. Hitori, from the word unity, falls into her world and panics. Nijika and Kita do not know what to do. She further withdraws into her world. Parents come in to look at the girls and decide to get to know them. Parents are still shocked that Hitori has real friends. Hitori is very embarrassed when her parents talk about her. Mom calms her down with fried chicken, and they then start talking about chaotic topics about Hitori. Parents talk about how Hitori practiced hosting guests and had fun with herself. Going to the restroom, she overhears a little what they are talking about, and when she comes, everyone quickly becomes friends and wants to watch the movie. As a result, for the whole day, everyone was just having fun and no one was working. In Hitori's room, they want to start designing again, But after the movie, Hitori dives back into his own world. Ryu sends them t-shirts with food, asking which one she should eat. Hitori wants to show her design that she came up with, showing the girls they are horrified. They ask about her clothes, and Hitori says that her mother buys all the clothes for her, but she doesn't like them. Nijika wants to see what Hitori looks like in those clothes. Hitori changes into a cute outfit, feeling awkward in front of her admiring friends. They continue to torment her, and Hitori turns to dust from stress. Hitori's curse is passed on to the others, and the parents enter the room in horror. Nijika writes to Ryu to hold the concert herself. The members settle on the Nijika design, a black t-shirt with the band's logo on it. Already thinking about the concert, Kita says that they will declare a typhoon. Ryu suggests making amulets from the rain, and then Kita says that their area will not be affected, but Hitori still insists on amulets. The next day, a typhoon began. Everyone is upset that the rain prevents anyone from coming to the concert, feel the most sorry for the girls for Pasan. But Hiroi still comes even in this weather. Seika is surprised that she comes. It turns out they both went to the same university. Hiroi gets closer to Seika. Suddenly people still come to the club. These were the same Hitori fans. Saying that they are her fans, Hitori gets excited. The group is about to go on stage, but to those people who don't know them. Hitori climbs into the box again to call the girls on stage. The group goes on stage for the first time and plays their original song. The fans of Hitori really like it, but the rest of the people don't like their performance at all. The group starts playing poorly because of this. Everyone's mood drops. After finishing the first song, everyone reacted negatively to it. Kita immediately starts talking about the beginning of the second song. Hitori is not happy with their mood, and in order to raise the spirit of the group, she begins to play her solo. Everyone is very surprised by her performance, and the second song begins, in which the audience now cares. This time, Kesoku Band managed to captivate everyone. Hitori thanks Nijika for her support. Kita talks about the third song. The club throws a party to celebrate the successful performance. Nijika and the others meet Hiroi for the first time, but Ryu recognized her from the internet. Hiroi is such a rebel. Everyone is having fun, and Hiroi is still praising the group, but the highlight of the program, Hitori is sitting there, all burned out after the concert. Everyone is asking Hitori to order something for herself. She chooses what she will order and listens to Kita's heavy order. She admires her very much, and she tells Seika that she will order an item that is not on the menu. In the end, she settled on fries. Hitori looks at her friends having fun and thinks that if she also starts drinking, she will have more fun, but after hearing what the drinking men are talking about, she worries about the future. Having lost her true appearance, Ryu and Kita smooth out her face with sandpaper. Suddenly, Ryu started praising Ikuyo for his game, but Kita didn't like her real name at all, so she retreated into herself. Hiroi gives life advice to Hitori that it is better for her to play for fun and not worry about money. Hitori finds out that Seika was also in the group, but she got tired of her and left. Hitori notices that Nijika is missing and decides to find her. When she went outside, she saw Nijika alone. Nijika knew that Hitori was Guitar Hero from her solo and guitar, but Hitori didn't intentionally hide herself. Suddenly, Nijika started talking about her real dream. When she was little, her parents were not there and only her sister was nearby, and for her sake, she left her group and made her own club for the sake of Nijika. Nijika's real dream is to make her group very popular in order to glorify her sister's club. She also talks about what each member brings to the group. Hitori wants to help Nijika with her dream. She accepts her dream. Hitori promises to play like a real guitar hero. 9 episode. Having become famous for his success, Hitori does not notice how the middle of the last month of summer comes. She wants to enjoy the last days before school, but she doesn't know how, so she plays the guitar all the time. The idea comes to mind to get together with a group and hang out, but Hitori doesn't have the courage, so she decides to just wait for someone to decide everything for her. It's already the 30th of August, and Hitori still doesn't do anything. After work, everyone is discussing Hitori. The girls notice how Hitori is getting worse and worse, and one day Seika asks girls what she does after work. Her answer about studying with her younger sister seemed pathetic. Nijika blames Seika for not telling everyone about this. Everyone already wanted to invite her somewhere, but everyone had their own reasons. Now the guys need to hang out with Hitori. Nijika approaches her, but Hitori seems bad. They offer to go with them to the beach, persuading her. She plunges into her world and loses consciousness. The guys leave her with Kita and run to the subway. Riding on the train, Hitori still feels bad. Nijika asks Kita about school, but their school is quite calm and free when Nijika and Ryu's school is strict. Kita thinks that they are both smart for such a school, but Nijika is an average student, and Ryu does not like to study. Kita tries to forget this conversation. Arriving in Enoshima, the group try to bring Hitori back to her senses by taking photos with her and walking around the island. The girls come to the beach, where Hitori returns to his consciousness. Thinking about the beach, a real partygoer runs up to them, and Hitori can no longer withstand the pressure. The girls run away from these men. Now nothing will stop them from walking around the island. The group eats delicious food and takes pictures. Hitori's eyes well up with tears. Kita notices grand staircase and really wants to go there. She offers the others to go there, but they don't want to. Then Kita's aura lit up very powerfully and everyone had to go upstairs. Except for Kita, everyone is tired and suddenly they notice an escalator. Kita wants to look at nature, so she doesn't really want to ride it. But the guys have already bought a ticket and they are riding the escalator. Coming out to a beautiful view, everyone is inspired, but they have to move away from the loving couple to the observation deck. Ryu tells many interesting facts about it. The girls are eating ice cream, and Hitori hears an incomprehensible sound. It was a bird that immediately snatches the ice cream from her. The other birds attacked her. That's a bad memory. It begins to get dark, and before leaving, the girls go to the nearest temple where they ask the goddess for success, and they also thank her for the successful concert. The girls are already on the train going home. Ryu and Nijika fall asleep, asking Kita to wake them up. Hitori doesn't want to sleep, and now she and Kita will talk to her station. Hitori thanks her for the day and says that she is ready for the school year with Kita. The school year begins and Mom wakes up Hitori. She really doesn't want to go back there. Hitori imagines herself at the school concert. She fell asleep right when the class was deciding what they would show at the fair. In the end, everyone stops at a cafe with maids, and they want to make costumes for all the girls. But Hitori never performed at the festival, so she doesn't even notice. When she arrives at the teacher's council office, she loses consciousness. Having come to her senses, she woke up in the school infirmary, where Kita was sitting in front of her wearing headphones. Hitori wants to be alone, so she manages to persuade Kita to leave. Hitori decides to watch the school concerts, but they were too fun. Hitori imagines the band's performance in her head, and she loses the desire to do it. Arriving at work, she immediately sits in the trash in front of Seika. Seika and Pasen start talking about school. The others come to the club and Seika tells them about Hitori's desire. She tries in every possible way to excuse herself, but Nijika would really like to perform. It turns out she and Ryu already performed in middle school. They want to remember this. Hitori's words hurt Ryu. If they play, they can't make a mistake. At night, Hitori thinks about Nijika's desire. At school, Hitori still can't decide. In her head, she is full of optimism. She is met by Kita, who says that she submitted Hitori's application for the concert herself. Because of this, in the club, Hitori lay down in a coffin and was sharpened. Hiroi arrives at the club and is not very friendly, greeted by Seika and Nijika. Seeing Hitori lying down, they is told about her problem. When Hitori comes to, Hiroi immediately gives her a ticket to her concert, and so does everyone else. She gives it as a gift, but Seika reminds her of her financial problems and debts, and Hitori reminds her of Ryu's debts, and they have to return the money. Everyone heads to the subway, where Hitori was afraid of people again. Arriving at the Hiroi Club, the girls from Starry meet the members. Hitori is uncomfortable with their appearance. Nijika says that they are quite good people, but when she meets Genjuru, she herself becomes scared. But Genjuru, on the contrary, is glad to meet you and even talks nicely to the girls. The rest of the sick hack group meet the girls and calm Hiroi down. Shima seems very polite. Eliza came from England to play in the group. People start coming to the concert. There are so many of them that Ryu sits away and withdraws into himself. Kita is eager to hear some psychedelic rock and the concert begins. Hiroi starts singing very brightly, which hurts Hitori. Their group is her ideal. Sick hack does a very good job. After the concert, Hiroi talks about her life, how she, like Hitori, lived and thought, acted and was afraid, and music and drinks helped her in this. Hitori invites her to his school concert, and out of happiness, Hiroi makes a dent in the wall. The girls are sitting in a restaurant and thinking about what program to create. Ryu really wants to eat, and because of her kindness, she is finally allowed. Ryu creates a program from Hitori and Kita's songs. It will be better for them. Walking out of the restaurant, Kita apologizes to Hitori for unwittingly submitting the application. But Hitori doesn't see anything wrong with it anymore and thanks her. After her words, Kita promises to rehearse harder. Coming to the club during rehearsals, Kita takes care of Hitori and asks for Ryu's help. During the fair, Hitori ran away somewhere. Nijika and Ryu are surprised how fun it is at the fair. First of all, they came to Hitori's class, where Kita was, who also didn't know where Hitori had run away. Kita speculates about places where Hitori would hide. Hitori was lying in the back of the school in a maid outfit. She was afraid to return to the guys, so she began to read the comments. Relaxing, she notices that she hasn't made a video for a long time. The guys find Hitori and invite her to take a walk around the fair. They notice a poster where their group is listed. They feel awkward. While walking around the fair, the girls go to the panic room, eat sweets, play shooting range, and look at the paintings. Hitori even enjoys hanging out at the fair with her friends. Hitori, who has forgotten from work, is reminded of her by her friends. The girls like how Hitori stands very boldly and invites clients, but in fact she just got up and passed out. Suddenly very brutal men come to her, who should have scared Hitori, but because of her charisma, she put them in their place. The guys call Hitori to ask her for an order. Arriving at them, the girls begin to like her outfit, and Ryu wants to monetize her. Finally, the girls ask about the dishes on the menu, where there was only one dish, but with different names. Hitori brings them an omelet with rice. The girls ask them to make the omelet tastier by saying a few words, but Hitori only ruins everything. Kita decides to show her how to do it, and the omelet becomes delicious. Suddenly, one of the students asks Kita for help with her work. She immediately dresses up as a maid. The students also ask Nijika and Ryu to change clothes. They don't mind, and also change clothes. Ryu tries several styles at once. Now Kita and Nijika help in the hall to receive guests. The brutal guys ask for water, but Ryu coolly tells them off that they go get water themselves. Hitori is given a break. She doesn't know what to do with herself. For helping the girls, the students promise to come to their concert tomorrow. Ryu asks for a fee for the work. Nijika drags her along. Kita wants to show them a place. The group comes to the hall where they will perform tomorrow. Kita promises to bring a lot of people here. The group is getting ready to rehearse. Nijika asks Hitori for her guitar. She tells her, but Ryu is the most interested of her. Hitori says that her parents will also come to the concert with a camera. The girls think that they will speak to the audience. An argument starts between Ryu and Nijika about what would be better. Kita calms them down, and they begin to rehearse. After rehearsal, Kita keeps the group's spirit alive. In the evening, the guys enjoy the autumn air. Hitori can't wait for the concert she's been wanting all her life. At school, girls wait their turn on stage. Hitori, immersed in his own world, thinks about the group's great success. The girls are inviting her. They will perform soon. While waiting in line, Kita and Hitori are the most worried. Before leaving, the group puts their hands on each other and promises the best concert. The curtains open. Kita is brightly greeted by her friends. Hitori was expecting this. Suddenly, Hitori is also greeted by her parents and her fans, as well as Hiroi, who spoils the atmosphere for everyone. Kita introduces the group and gives a speech. Game time. Hitori is ready. 12 episode. Kesoku band starts playing their first song. Hitori is filmed by her parents. The whole hall is waiting, listening to the band's song. Hitori remembers her school moments. They finish with the first song, which left the whole audience in awe. Kita gives a speech before the second song and makes her friends laugh. The second song begins. While playing it, Hitori feels that something is wrong. Her string suddenly breaks. Trying to quickly replace it, her peg sticks. Hitori is very nervous, as is Hiroi. Looking at Kita, she improvises the game, signaling to Hitori to show her best. Hitori takes an empty jar to make slides and chords. Everyone is surprised at her trick. Having finished playing the second song, Kita would like to thank everyone in the hall and give a few words to Hitori. Before starting the third, she was confused and remembering Hiroi. She falls towards the people from the stage, but no one catches her. Everyone doesn't understand why she did this. Hiroi and Ryu laugh at her action. Waking up in the infirmary, Kita is worried about her and informs her about the party. If everything goes well with Hitori, Hitori praises her for today's game. Kita leaves and promises Hitori to become even better. The rest are waiting for Hitori and Kita. Everyone finishes the fair and cleans up the school. Boys passing by Hitori ridiculed her for her actions. Arriving home, Hitori apologizes to his father for the damaged guitar, but he is not even angry about it. But on the contrary, he wanted it to break. He considers this a reason to buy Hitori a new guitar. Hitori does not mind. But she has no money. The father takes out a lot of money, and Hitori is scared. It turns out her father secretly connected advertising to her account, and her wallet has accumulated so much. Hitori can't believe that her parents know about her Guitar Hero activities. Hitori now has 300,000 and she thinks that she can buy a guitar for 100. She can cover quotas for 2 years in advance for 200. She wants to quit. At work, everyone in the club notices how happy Hitori is, but it's not clear why. Hitori is filled with joy at the thought of quitting. But she needs to talk to the manager first, but she can't think of anything better than asking her wishes for her birthday. Nijika calls Hitori to go to the music store. Ryu talks about his knowledge along the way. Hitori can't seem to get into the store, so she decides to pretend she's listening to heavy music by shaking her head. Upon entering the store, everyone chooses something for themselves. Ryu is looking for a bass, which she surprised everyone with. Kita is also looking at guitars. But Nijika, as a drummer, steps away and decides to join the company. Hitori spots a guitar. A consultant comes up to her and talks about the guitar. Hitori stands dumbfounded. Kita says everything for Hitori. Hitori agrees to buy the guitar. At the checkout, the seller says how much she also liked this guitar. After listening to her, Hitori runs away and returns for the guitar. The girls are thinking about where else to go, but Ryu understands Hitori and suggests they go home so that Hitori can try out a new guitar, but for now everyone will be in anticipation. At home, Hitori shows off his new guitar and apologizes to his old one for forgetting about it. Hitori leaves for rehearsal, starting her next journey.